From homeworks or whatever. So we'll start with questions. So again, up to this point, we've assigned all the way through 60 in worksheet 1. Grace? 47? Sure. All right, 47 says, if an angle falls within the given interval, determine whether sine, cosine, and tangent will be positive or negative. So the idea here is I want to think about, I'm going to start by drawing a picture. So if I draw a picture like 0 degrees is here, 90 degrees is up there, and 180 degrees is there. So between 90 and 180 is the second quadrant, right? In the second quadrant, our x's are negative, but our y's are positive, right? And I know from my unit circle definition of sine, cosine, and tangent that sine is y, cosine is x, and tangent is y over x. So since y is positive, we know that sine is positive. Since x is negative, we know that cosine is negative. And because tangent is y over x, it's positive over negative, which is negative. So we know tangent's negative. And I'm done. So I didn't actually find any values for anything. I just looked at, okay, in this quadrant, what are the coordinates, positive or negative? And then just used my unit circle definition of sine, cosine, and tangent to decide whether, since x or y is positive or negative, what those had to be, whether they have to be positive or negative. Does that feel okay, Grace? Mm-hmm. So that's my answer there. Lexi.
Can we do number 8 on the worksheet?
Sure. And I'm going to drop a unit circle in here so that we can refer to that. Okay. So we're going to start by going to my unit circle and looking to see if we can find 301 pi on our unit circle. How's that work out for you, Lexi? If I go and we look, the biggest we go up to is 11 pi over 6, or back here again would be 2 pi. Uh-oh. Not in there, right? Okay. So what do we do if the angle's not on the unit circle? We look to see if it's coterminal to something on the unit circle. So notice our angle here is in radians. Stop talking, please. So since it's in radians, to find something coterminal, I need to be adding or subtracting. Well, so we're in radians, so 2 pi. Now, is 301 too big or too small? Too big. So I should be subtracting 2 pi, right? Well, it's going to be a lot of subtractions here, right? How many times am I going to have to subtract 2 pi? 150 times, right? Because 150 times 2 is 300. Everybody's okay with that? Now I go to my unit circle because pi's on there. Bloop. And cosine of pi, or cosine is x. So cosine of pi is just -1. And we're done. What? Yeah, the hardest part was figuring out how many times you had to subtract 2 pi. It was a lot. Who's next? Lexi, you're happy though?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next then? Who's next? Maura smiled at that. I'm glad one person. Nobody? Okay. Let's talk about the test format then, right? That's what's happening next class is the test. Oh, did I not put it in here? Oh, let's put it in that page. Oops, Daisy. Just copy it from this section. Copy. Thought I put it in. You know, sometimes we forget, I guess. So for test 2, there are 14 total questions. The last page of the review always gives you the formulas for the test. If I look at the last page of the review, it is the unit circle. So you'll get a unit circle on the test. You don't need to write your own unit circle on your half sheet or anything like that. I'll give it to you, and I'll give it to you every time you need it. Okay? The kinds of things you should be able to do is you should be able to convert from degrees to radians and represent your answer in terms of pi. So for example, if I give you 45 degrees, when you convert that to radians, you should be able to write that as pi over 4. That's what I mean in terms of pi, not the decimal, like 0.9 whatevers. Not that. I want like pi over 4. You should be able to convert from radians to degrees. You should be able to solve for arc length, radius, or central angle when given 2 of the 3 measurements. You should be able to use SOHCAHTOA to write the 6 trig ratios given a right triangle. Given 1 trig ratio, you should be able to use SOHCAHTOA to write the other 5 ratios. Given a point on the terminal side of a standard position angle, you should be able to write the 6 trig ratios. Given 1 trig ratio and the sine of a second ratio, you should be able to write the other 5 ratios. And you should be able to use the unit circle to find the exact value of a trig function. Any questions about what I mean by any of that stuff? Maura? Okay. Since there's a test coming up, what do you guys need to do? Well, make a half sheet of notes, right? When is that due? I mean, I'd like it by the end of the hour today. Worst case scenario, though, I start handing out trig tests 3rd hour. If I don't have it or third hour Friday, I should say. If I don't have that half sheet by third hour Friday, you're out of luck. Okay? Some of us got caught on that last time. I want to say that again. When I hand out the first trig test, I do not take any more half sheets from anybody. So third hour tomorrow is when that happens. The first trig tests get handed out. Must have your half sheet before third hour tomorrow at the latest possible moment. Okay? So if you don't get it today, make sure that you don't forget to bring it to me tomorrow before third period. Fair enough? Okay. The other thing you could be working on today is the review. The review is in OneNote also. That's part of Sunday's problem set as well. So you should have, for Sunday, you should have, 43 to 60, worksheet 2, or I'm sorry, worksheet 1, and then the review will be the things that I'll be looking for on Sunday. Questions from you guys about any of that? Everybody clear as to like what you should be doing and what's due when and all that jazz? Okay. I'm going to leave you alone to let you guys work on that stuff now. If you have questions about anything or need to talk to me about missing assignments or whatever, we can come on up and we can take care of that stuff here while we're doing stuff. Okie dokes.